So you remember yesterday I had that video about how a district attorney named Ed Berberian in California had this whole campaign for violent video games that if you traded them in, they would give you Ben & Jerry's ice cream in return? Because that's a hell of a deal. That's a bargain, right? $60 game and you get ice cream in return for it. Well, Ed, I got some bad news for you, brother. It looks like violent video games, there was another study done on them, and it looks like, again, it's been proven that violent video games do make them homicidal maniacs. The study, called Violent Video Games and Real-World Violence, Rhetoric versus Data, was conducted by researchers at Villanova University and Rutgers University and was published recently in the Psychology of Popular Media Culture. Through 4 unique data analysis, the researchers looked at how popular video game trends, like annual and monthly video game sales, as well as Google Trends keyword search volume, compared to real-world crime rates. They wrote a synopsis of what they found, and this is what it had to say. Annual trends in video game sales for the past 33 years were unrelated to violent crime both concurrently and up to 4 years later. Unexpectedly, monthly sales of video games were related to concurrent decreases in aggravated assaults and were unrelated to homicides. Searches for violent video game walkthroughs and guides were also related to decreases in aggravated assaults and homicides 2 months later. Finally, homicides tended to decrease in the months following the release of popular M-rated violent video games. The study goes on to say this, and it's beautiful. Finding that a young man who committed a violent crime also played a popular video game, such as Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto, is as pointless as pointing out that the criminal also wore socks. Amen, man. I told you that I knew this from ages ago, and I've been saying it over and over again because there has been other studies done too, thorough studies that have proven that games do not make people violent. And that's why when I saw that whole thing with Ed Berberian, the district attorney out in California, putting that stupid campaign together where people could trade in their toy guns and violent video games for ice cream, it just made me angry and it made me facepalm. Because you know why? He doesn't give a shit about facts, Ed. Politicians don't give a shit research. They only give a shit about catering to what their voting demographic may possibly want them to say. Facts be damned, what's actually good for the general public be damned. Ed's probably like, okay, who's my voting demographic? All right, 50 to 70, they don't give a shit about games, know anything about them. They probably are just freaked out by them because they see Grand Theft Auto on the news. I got an idea. Why don't I make it like I'm against violent video games by doing this stupid ice cream campaign, and then all the old and vote for me. That's exactly what he's doing. And this is what all politicians do. They say whatever they need to say or do whatever they need to do, even if they don't believe in it or know anything about it, just to please people so they get their votes and don't give a shit whether it's right or wrong. Just look at history. Look at the presidents that were voted into office in the United States. How many promises have they kept? I don't know, virtually zero. I hate politicians and I hate ignorance. And unfortunately, when it comes to at least American politics, they go together hand in hand. So enjoy giving up your $60 violent video games out in California in exchange for like $2 worth of ice cream. It sounds totally worth it. Yeah, thumbs up, high five.